Hello everyone, this is Amber with Staying Crafty. These are some three-dimensional shoes I made previously and posted on my blog. A couple of you said you would like to see a video of how to actually assemble the three-dimensional shoes from a free template that I linked to. Here I'm just showing a matching purse from the Forever Young Cricut cartridge and a perfume-shaped card from the Forever Young Cricut cartridge I made to go with my original set of shoes. So the template link is in the description. Here's what the template looks like, and I just store them. I printed it out twice. One set I cut out, and I just adhere it with repositionable adhesive onto the non-cutout set. And that's just for storage. And you make sure you've got plenty of repositionable adhesive on the back. You don't need it to be completely perfectly stuck, but you want to be able to cut around it. So I've just assembled all the pieces. Remember, all four of these pieces will make one shoe, so if you want to make two shoes, you will just recut all these pieces. So it's pretty simple as far as the basic cutting goes. You just cut around all the black lines. Pretty standard. My Martha Stewart Precision Scissors are my absolute favorite for cutting around stamped images, templates, all those types of things. They're just really smooth in my hand. Okay, so you can see there's the back. You're not going to want to remove the template until you've done the scoring so you can score in the correct places. Now I'm using a paper piercing mat, and the reason for that is not all the scoring lines on this project are straight. So if you try to use like a regular Score Pal or even the Crafter's Companion or the Martha Stewart scoring board, you're not going to be able to score these curved lines. So I'm just using a scoring and embossing tool that came with my Ultimate Crafter's Companion. I'm sure there are plenty of others that would work, but you just go along the lines. This one along the back of the shoe curves a lot, and it's the hardest to do. So you have another flipped image of that first part of the shoe to cut out. It's just the exact opposite. So you do the same thing, you just cut it and you score it, and you're scoring along the dashed lines. And then this is a piece that will go across the front of the shoe and kind of create the toe. And in case you're wondering, the red lines you see on the template are kind of a guide as to where you'd probably want to put adhesive. So once again, I'm just scoring on the dotted black lines. Pretty easy. Okay, this part goes inside the shoe. And this one's a little trickier because we're going to cut some flaps into it. So I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and do all my scoring. I score across the lines that I'm going to cut because I remove the template to cut them. So you can see where I'm pointing, those aren't dashed lines, they are solid lines, which means you cut. So the reason I went ahead and scored them is so that when I remove the template, I can see how to cut the lines straight. I'm not very coordinated, so that extra little bit of visual is very helpful to me. So just a couple little snips. If you do it right away, you won't forget. And then I just go ahead and put all my template pieces back on. And you don't have to store yours like this. I just find it to be a little more convenient. Alright, so then I'm just going to go through and take all my pieces, and I'm kind of going to work with those score lines and just get them nice and bent so it's easier to assemble my shoe. Alright, so I'm taking one of the side shoe pieces, it doesn't really matter which one I start with, and I'm going to put adhesive along the bottom of the side shoe piece to attach the front toe. I don't know if that made any sense, but you're going to see a visual. Alright, so I'm just using score tape. Score tape is great because not only is it super sticky for 3D projects, but it tears. So you don't have to sit there and pull out the scissors like a bazillion times and try to cut these things off. Okay, so it just lines up like that, and the toe sticks out much further than the side of the shoe does. And the first time I assembled one, that kind of baffled me, so seeing it might be helpful to you. Just to note, I don't know if I'm assembling it the way the directions said to. This is just what worked best for me. Okay, so now I'm going to start assembling the heel. I'm only going to put adhesive on one of the two heels because I'm just going to stick it behind the one that does not have adhesive. So just used a couple little pieces of score tape there. Go ahead and remove those. And this is where it really starts to become three-dimensional. But this is pretty easy to line up. There's only one part I find difficult of this whole process. And this isn't it. Alright, so we're going to curl it around. And you just line it up the best you can, kind of nestling the one with the adhesive on it back against the edge of the other, and then forming the closure. So this is the tricky part. This curve to the back of the shoe is very unnatural. It feels strange to score. It feels strange to put adhesive on. I'm putting score tape only on one of the little flaps that's created, and the other one's going to come over the top of it. So I did it in one strip. You could also do it in a couple so you don't get kind of the curved bubble. Okay, so you can see I've only got adhesive on one side and it hangs off, but that's okay because it's going to be back in the inside of the shoe. So you take the other side and you bring it over, and you're just seeing me kind of fiddle with it, try to get it as smoothed out as I can. I got some kind of ripples in this one that I didn't get with the other shoes I made. So I don't know if it has to do with the weight of the cardstock or what, but unfortunately I got those ripples. So now I'm putting adhesive down on the sides of the toes there, just the flaps that are created by the folds basically. Gives me a great guide to put my adhesive. I slip my shoe inside part back in, butt it up against the sides. I'm going to show you kind of how it's lined up. There's a little bit of the round part sticking out, and that is so it forms a nice toe on the front of the shoe. So now the side flaps on this piece, I'm going to add adhesive to those as well. And these, it's not super tricky to do this, but you want to be a little careful because the score tape is really, really sticky. So you want to be really gentle while you're maneuvering this into the shoe because you don't want it to stick to the sides until you are ready. Okay, so I'm just kind of slowly nestling that down. There's going to be a bit of a fold there. When you get it where you want it, you can just kind of burnish it in there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and very crafty day.